This is John for MTG Nexus coming at you with another live stream here on Twitch tonight. As I said on a note back on the YouTube channel, I was going to try to start streaming 4 to 5 nights a week again. I took last night off. Don't think tonight's going to be a particularly long stream. I just wanted to get another league started with the deck that we went 5-0 with last time we played it, and is up on our YouTube channel now. That's a little bit of a unique take on Boros Burn, heavily emphasizing the use of Roiling Vortex and with elements from some previous builds of Boros that I'll get into in a second. Beyond that, we are using the rather standard Boros shell. I do like 20 lands. I know some people like Poseidon tend to stick to 20 lands in a 61 card deck. I know 19 or 20 is kind of a contentious number, and sometimes we've even lost or had to mulligan 4 landers. In I think the last league, I think one of the ones we went 4-1 in or something. But I still maintain that 20 lands and 5 can lands is about roughly the optimum build for Boros in particular. Boros tends to have a little bit of a higher mana curve than things like Prowess or such in terms of the overall spells it's casting. I think one thing people underestimate is the ability to get cards out of your hand and burn sometimes. And when you're playing a full deck, or a full normal build of Boros, I guess I don't have one currently available. Basically, you're usually looking Goblin Guide, Lava Spike, Lightning Bolt, Monastery, Swift Spear. You're usually looking at roughly a 16-8 breakdown roughly of 16 1-drop spells, 16 2-drop spells, and then 8 3-drop spells of obviously Skewer the Critics and Rift Bolt, which can sometimes under circumstances be cast as a 1-drop, sometimes they're a 3-drop. Makes you a little bit less vulnerable to something like Chalice, but does make it so you often have more of the hands where you have like 1 or 2 1-drops and then a glut of 2-drops. Or sorry, 1 or 2 1-drops and then a glut of 2-drops, which if you don't draw additional lands, can take you many turns to get them out of your hand. So part of the reason why I've gone to Seal of Fire is it's obviously something that's been played in Luris builds, something that sees play in Mono Red Prowess, and some of this version has elements from Hayashi Obosh Prowess. And while Seal of Fire and Bone Crusher Giant on rate are not the same amount of raw damage as things like Skullcrack or Lightning Helix or even Skewer and Rift Bolt, they are somewhat a little bit more mana efficient, especially Seal of Fire, and you get to play it proactively. You get to get it out of your hand, you don't have to hold it in your hand, which can be nice. Roiling Vortex, this is the primary card that we're testing. Some people have been doing a 2-2 split. I know Poseidon has gone a 1-2 split, I think 1 in the main, 2 in the side. Norath Decay, I think, did 2 in the main, 2 in the side. Was running some amount of Skullcrack split. There's still no clear way to build this deck, but I do like Seal of Fire to lower the curve a little bit. Gives you a little bit more play against creatures. And Roiling Vortex is just basically replacing Skullcrack. Some people ask me about the 3 damage spells in Bone Crusher Giant. I'm not certain the Bone Crusher Giant is the correct card in this slot, but it is a little bit of a grindy card, which, truth be told, Burn needs to get a little bit grindier. It still needs the capability. I vote point the spell upstairs and turn them sideways. Ha, War Dog. But the thing with Bone Crusher is this is a 2-in-1 card sometimes. Like, you can shock your opponent, shock a Devoted Druid, or I guess Devoted Druid's a bad example, shock a Dark Confidant, and then play a Bone Crusher Giant. It's really a card that plays kind of in the grindier nature of Modern right now, and I've been really impressed with it out of the Hayashi Obosh Red decks. As far as the rest of the spells, obviously 4 copies of Eidolon, kind of mandatory in most metas. 4 Searing Blaze, this could be some split of Blaze or Skullcrack or Lightning Helix. Kind of remains debatable. Then 4 copies of Boros Charm. These aren't Sacred Cows either. You can potentially cut Boros Charm go all red if you wanted to. I still like the utility of Boros Charm and some of the white sideboard cards we'll get to in a sec. Beyond that, obviously, 4 copies of Roiling Vortex can get a little bit clunky. I honestly think much like Chandra's Incinerator, the right number is probably 3, but because sometimes you want to see exactly 1 a game. The second one can be fine. It depends on the nature of the game. And then beyond that, the sideboard, Relics of Progenitus. Last league, this played a huge role in our 5-0. This is probably the card that, along with Core Firewalker, that played the biggest role in us going 5-0. Mainly because a lot of the grindy decks have some type of sub-graveyard theme to them. Whether it be the Uro piles, whether it be Jund, whether it be... We played against the red-black Unearth Skelemental deck. Or negating activations of Klothys, or... there's a small graveyard sub-theme to a lot of the big grindy decks in the format right now. And I think Relic is a really good card in those situations. Path to Exile, this is primarily to answer Tarmogoyf's Death Shadows, Thought Not Seers, etc. 4 copies of Core Firewalker. This is the answer to the Red Mirrors. Pure and simple. 2 Smash, 2 Wear Tear. I like the flexibility with Wear Tear. Smash to Smithereens obviously deals damage. And Grim is the one card that I can't figure out what to actually put in this slot. It gives us a little bit more against creature decks when we're boarding out the Vortex, which right now I really only have Grim and 2 Path against non-red aggressive decks, so humans or whatnot. So I think Grim's a nice slot. And honestly, this is a placeholder. This was supposed to be Lurrus of the Dream Den, but then I realized you can't play Lurrus as a companion in a Bone Crusher Giant deck, so... Hence why Grim was a last-minute addition to our 5-0 deck. But you're not here to hear me kind of just continually talk about the deck. You're here to actually see the deck. So let's at least get a match or 2 done tonight. So how are you doing tonight, War Dog? I'm surprised you're up this late, man. How's everybody else doing tonight? Make sure I was actually recording. 4 lander can't keep. Is there actually a consideration to keep this hand? So Lava Spike obviously is whatever. We have 1 can land. Bone Crusher. No, I don't think we can. Sand now has the opposite problem. It's super clunky with only 1 land. I do think we keep it, put back a Roiling Vortex, and hope we rip some lands pretty much. So we have Swift Spear into Seal of Fire at the very least. And we immediately get paired against an Uro pile, it looks like. As to which Uro pile... It's the 4-color one I ran into the other night with Omnath and stuff. It's going to be a rather rough go of things. Hopefully they don't have Force of Negation here. What game are you playing? Ah. I don't think I've ever played that game. So I could jam Bone Crusher into what's most likely either a Remand or a Mana Leak. I think for now I'm just going to go ahead and play Seal of Fire, and if they want to remand that, it's kind of whatever. The only spell you're getting this turn, friend. But yeah, it looks like we might be up against the Omnath nonsense. This is a very rough matchup now. Omnath made it even worse. Uro was bad enough, but Omnath just like takes that and dumps it even further. Let's play a waiting game, friend. Random isn't feeling so random. I feel like I've played against this player recently, besides the current match we're in. I wish they did things potentially in alphabetical order, but they don't. Looks like we should have bought him the Blaze, but we didn't know what we were up against, so. Come on, friend, please take a game action. Stomp the face. Daylight come and we stomp the face. Do you think Seagate Wreckage might be a new addition to the deck, though? Let me look at win sauce. Nope, he had Seagate Restoration in his latest list. Eidolon's not a bad one, though. Like I said, it's probably not resolving at this point in the game. Let's get in, just pass the turn. Tick, tick, tick. Sure. Nothing we can do about that cryptic, unfortunately. Lava spike. Sure. Gonna bounce the Roiling Vortex here. See if they have the necessary follow-up here. Yep. This card is so stupid. Congratulations, Watsy. You almost went an entire 2 sets without printing something dumb and broken. Almost. Hopefully they don't Uro to boot. Looks like they do, though. Moving on. So one part I don't like about Roiling Vortex is it's such a slow countdown, your opponent can just set up to beat it. Alright, so we bring in the relics. Bring in... Do we actually bring anything else in? Just the relics in and the blazes out, I think. Path is kind of whatever. I mean, you could argue bringing in some number to deal with Omnath. Core Firewalker, obviously it's not the matchup for that, although they do have a lot of some bolt-based effects, like Lightning Bolt. There's main decking Ether Gust, that's pretty ballsy. Cleansing Wildfire is kind of whatever. Okay, beyond that, I think those are the main changes we want. And Omnath's just a beating either way. Sand's fine. We obviously don't have Vortex this game, but we do have a pretty functional hand. Goblin Guide into like Relic plus stuff is pretty decent against them. It's really, really dumb when an aggressive deck cannot punish the 4-color control pile. And I just screwed up and played the wrong card. Cool. So let's play Goblin Guide there, obviously. Fire spouts, sure. Again, that's in McWinsauce's list. Should wait to activate that. Force of habit. Guess our opponent isn't going to give us anything to activate it on anyway, so I guess it doesn't particularly matter. Gonna really suck if they have Utopia Sprawl into Omnath or Growth Spiral into Omnath. Okay, we're getting paths, sure. Just add on some damage as a result of my So I could try to get them to play around stuff by like pretending I'm holding up Skullcrack here, but I think we just gotta try to resolve Boros Charm while we can. Hope they don't have Omnath or, well, particularly Uro this turn. Omnath really wouldn't be able to trigger, I don't think. Well, let's play a relic, another relic. Well, this is the part of Modern that I just like absolutely despise right now, is these stupid Uro piles. Is like there should be a deck that can punish them, you know? There should be like a Tron deck or a Burn deck or something that should be able to punish a super greedy, super mopey, well, not even mopey, just super mana-based greedy deck, and there just really isn't anything. Like, Gruul's fine against it, Burn's okay against, like, actually, no, I think Burn's actually terrible against it. I don't know how Tron fares, but it's like, there should be something that, like, punishes these decks, and it just doesn't really seem like there is in the format. Other than, you know, people not being able to afford the ridiculous price tag. And, like, see here, you know, we're cutting off their Uro end of things, but then they're just Field of Deading us. You know, they're putting us on a clock that way. So what are the odds this resolves? Probably low, but I guess we go for it. Which counterspell would you like to use? Why, yes, I'd like to use my Cryptic Command. Sure. Well, last four, because M21 really didn't have anything completely dumb in them. But yeah, don't forget, Uro was originally in this, not Uro, Oko was originally in this pile of stupid too, so... But still, you know, there should be, like, some punishment for this, like, super greedy mana base, but there really isn't. As long as they have a basic island, they can Ether Gust a Blood Moon. They've got Uro and Omnath, and potentially timely reinforcements or Weather the Storm to gain life. It's just dumb. Oh no, yeah, they don't even have to resolve a spell to actually win a game if they draw Field of the Dead. Like, okay. That seems right. Cracking this fetch might actually be incorrect from a turn standpoint, although I think we're dead in... With this fetch land in particular, I think we're dead in 2 anyway. So we need to get a lot lucky here. See, that's the thing though with Legacy. See, Legacy at least there are decks that punish the snow decks. You know, there are you know, decks that don't care about what the snow deck is doing. This point, Goblin Guide's basically useless. So our opponent only has 3 cards in hand. What are the odds they don't have a counterspell? Hey, go figure. There's an Ether Gust. Uropile does whatever an Uropile does. So what deck are you on nowadays in Legacy Wardog? Once again, we're on the draw. Once again, we're staring at a 4-lander. Demir Prowess? Is that like some Delver variant? Once again, 4-lander, I don't think we can keep it. This hand's basically a 4-lander, but I think we keep it and ditch the... Do we ditch the basic mountain or one of the can lands? I think we ditch one of the can lands. Oh, Okay. Some type of elf deck. Yeah, it looks like we're up against an elf deck. Elf deck with upside. So some type of walkers deck maybe. Nope, just elves. Devoted doodad. I wonder why the Leyline of Abundance. Sure, Heritage Druid doesn't do anything on its own at least. There's Mystic. That's a thing. And who's the new guy? Oh. Kind of feel bad in some regards, but, you know. That's a concession. This feels like a concession lockup. Yep. Gotcha. Lavamancer and Paths. At least 3 of the Roilings out of the deck. This is where things get a little awkward, these creature-heavy decks. Not being able to board out things like Boros Charm. Is there a particular reason why Elves is making a bit of a resurgence? It's like the second time in 2 or 3 leagues I've played Elves. Maybe it's just a coincidence, I don't know. I think it might even be the same Samurai Drive, maybe? No? Don't think we have anything else particularly to bring in. Relic. Yeah, I really like the 3 decks that I particularly have noticed that I liked in Legacy so far. This hand is pretty good. We get to display the power of Bone Crusher Giant in this hand, I think. Get to go seal into Eidolon, hopefully. Samurai Drive. Ooh, they kept a 1-lander. Shaper Sanctuary is a little rough. Maybe that's a reason to bring in Wear Tear. Yeah, I probably should have brought in at least 1 copy of Wear Tear for Shaper Sanctuary in particular. I think we do the Shock Land here. See if they brought in Abrupt Decay or Fatal Push. I think the last time I played against a Fatal Push, yep. There's a Fatal Push. Okay, looks like a Elves or Uzuri. Interesting. When in doubt, yes, sir, it out. I know that was terrible. Terramander, gotcha. I'm not smelling a collected company. Are you smelling a collected company? It's going to play Bone Crusher, get some pressure on the board. Here comes Coco. Here comes Coco. Burr, 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 burr. Shaman of the Pack and Elvish Clan Color. It continues to draw cards, which is really annoying. Oh, I'm an idiot. I am an idiot. So you have 5 cards in hand and you feel the need to cycle Nurturing Paintland? Alright, sure. Pass turn. Yeah, by the way, Elves is annoying as a matchup. Oh boy. Oh boy. I mean, I'd feel bad, but you like outdrew me by like 6 cards. What decks is Elves trying to prey on? Like, I don't see it being good against Uropile. I mean, Uropile has some interaction for them, not a lot. I think this is going to be the last match for the night, but we'll see how it goes. 1, 2, 3, 4 lands again. Has the Swift Spear, but not a whole lot else going on here, so I think we got a mulligan. This hand is also a... It's likewise a 4-lander, but I think we keep this one, putting back the Sacred Foundry. The reason we put back the Sacred Foundry is, number 1, we already have 2 white sources. Number 2, fetch land thins the deck. Oh, we're up against not good. Need to find a Bolt or a Searing Blaze next turn. Okay. I've seen this deck recently, but I don't remember what it was. Unfortunately, we can't answer the Arbor Elf, so we're probably... Oh, we're up against Heliod Combo. Yay! Oh, they have nothing to activate with their Arbor Elf. Cute. Don't show lands, don't show lands. Topia Sprawls, sure. Those require a forest, don't they? Okay. Kitchen Finks. That is unfortunate. interested in making that trade particularly. Heliod's whatever. Land maybe. So I can kill them here, right? Barring a path to exile. Because one of these creatures gets through block. In response to the trigger, we kill the other one. Now you want to block the bigger one. There you go. Good. Okay. Response, do the thing. Grab a mountain. And Searing Blaze. Whoo! Heliod Ballista combo with a side of stupid. Heliod. I really am trying to figure out why they went to the Arbor Elf package in particular. Oh, they're playing Hardened Scales to boot. They're playing Conclave Mentor. They have Auriok Champion's Main. Yeah, I remember why I hate this pile of crap. Definitely want the paths. Definitely want the Lavamancer. The Sphinxes are annoying. I'm not sure how much I should play around those per se. Should have the Boros Charms most likely. So Hardened Scales, Utopia, Sprawl. I'm going to bring in one copy of Wear Tear over the 4th Boros Charm. Let's do it like that. We got lucky to steal game 1 there. Now we were on the play, which was nice. And this hand is the opposite problem we had with most of our opening hands, where we've been sitting at staring at 4 lands. This is 1 land with a bunch of 2-mana spells. Don't think we can keep this one. This hand now is kind of getting there, but I think we keep and put back Lava Spike here, as we're much more interested in open our answers our opponent's board. Hardened Scales, that's an annoying card, but it's kind of whatever. Okay. So our choices are Grim Lavamancer and Goblin Guide. I think we play Goblin Guide here because we're not going to be able to successfully answer or use Grim Lavamancer anytime soon anyway. So, Conclave Mentor. Gain life equal to its power. Yay! And this is where I kind of become concerned, but this point. I think we just need to do the thing and hope and pray it's good enough. Hopefully they don't have a third land and can't drop Heliod this turn. Really want to draw a land. Come on, deck. Give us a land. Alright, well, I guess bolt your thing it is. Well, if they ever hit a third land, we're dead, so, you know. We're going to get there on the back of Mana Screw. Maybe? Kind of indicate how we want to play this turn. Scavenging Ooze. Scavenging Ooze is perfectly fine. Wow! How does Burn beat the all life gain deck? We get lucky. Oh, wow. Okay, Lucarian, you're coming in kind of here at the end tonight, unfortunately, but we lost to 4-color Omnath Uropile, which is not really a surprise. And then we beat... what did we play last round? We beat Elves, and then we beat 3-color, or the Hardened Scales Heliod Combo deck. Which, for those of you who have never seen it, this is the pile we were playing against. Or a variant thereof. They happen to be playing Kitchen Finks. They play Conclave Mentor, which one or more +1/+1 counters will be put on a creature you control. Put on that many creatures instead. So basically, this is the kind of upgraded version of Winding Constrictor, and then Hardened Scales, and they get to play Heliod. Oh no, I understand variance is part of the game. It's how I've won certain things. I mean, my first PPTQ win, I had to beat, I think it was, I had to beat Affinity and then Ad Nauseam in back-to-back rounds, or vice versa, and then had to turn around and play against the whatchamacallit combo, Devoted Druid combo again. Was it Devoted Druid combo? It was one of the variants of the Devoted Druid combo decks to make top 4. So I understand variance is a thing, and it was the deck that beat me during the Swiss. So I understand variance is a thing. I'm just saying this deck is almost like tailor-made to beat Burn, especially when our particular opponent's build had Kitchen Finks in it too. So started out 2-1 in this league. I wanted to stream for about an hour, so I think we got about where I wanted it to be tonight. So I've played 2.5 leagues so far, and I've only lost 2 matches with this deck. One was Boggles, and the other one was Uropile. So overall, 9, 10, 11, and 2. Can't really complain about a deck so far. This particular build is 7-1 currently. So once again, variance plays into that. But like in the Bone Crushers, like in the Roilings, Seal of Fire coming up clutch, being a more efficient. See, and that's getting into the wrap-up. The other part that I really like about Seal of Fire is it's another 1-mana interaction for creatures. Yeah, that's the one thing, one of the weaknesses on the draw for Burn a lot of the times is you only really have Lightning Bolt and potentially Path as 1-mana interaction for like mana dorks and such. Whereas, the Prowess decks are packing, Bolt and Lava Dart minimum. Some of them are packing Burst Lightning. Some of them are packing Firebolt. So obviously some of them play Seal of Fire. So I think it's really nice just to have a second 1-mana spell that can pick off a creature. Whether it be an opposing Swiftspear or Goblin Guide or an opposing Mana Dork. It's just nice to have another thing that plays to the board on turn 1. So you don't always have to, take 2 hits or let your opponent untap with a Mana Dork to those situations. So that's another thing about Seal of Fire that's quite nice. Even though, obviously, the raw damage output of Seal being a shock, basically. And if I ever decide I don't like Bone Crushers, I can always get Luris in here and actually get some value off of Seal of Fires. But going to wrap that with the stream tonight. Just some quick thoughts on some things. Nice to get a win against some bad matchups. Nice to run into Elves, because that seems to be like almost a buy for Burn anymore. And then, obviously, Omnath Uro Pile is pay to win to a certain degree. It's got to have some bad matchups, right? But if Burn can't punish that mana base, what deck can? Prowess? I'm not even sure Prowess does, but, Anywho, that's going to wrap it up tonight. Thanks, War Dog, Lucarion, everybody else hanging out tonight. I greatly appreciate everybody's viewing. I'll hopefully be finishing this, at least minimum, finishing up this league tomorrow night. So, thanks everybody for tuning in. This has been John for MTG Nexus. Hopefully Lucarion, but I appreciate even showing up at the end here.